If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.
This is a podcast from Minute Media.
Warning, the following content may contain elements that are not suitable for some audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello, kiddies. This is yours duly, John Kassir, the voice of the Crypt Keeper. And you're listening to Slasher Radio.
Welcome to Slasher Radio. My name is Mikey Bones, and I'm joined by Kat and Rob. What's happening, guys?
Hello.
Howdy.
Howdy doody. It's time to pay the piper. There we are.
Yeah, this has been a long time coming.
We've owed this debt for a while.
Yeah. I sat back. I didn't bitch. I didn't say nothing. I was very amicable, team player, all that good shit.
Yeah.
But I knew one day you motherfuckers were paying with this damn movie. But we'll get to that later because obviously I feel I'm going to be defending a lot of shit tonight. I'm coming in with, I got armor tonight, guys. I came in with, I made my own armor and I'm fucking coming for war.
Okay.
You're going to need it.
And you better be on your best behavior.
We'll talk about it, I'm sure, when we get into the movie, but I want you to know that I also came into this very amicable. I actually I reminded you that I owed you this movie a couple points. I did forget we were doing it this week just because it's been so long, but I didn't complain about it. And I went in with the same attitude that I went into the last one, where I gave this movie every benefit of the doubt. Like I set up the best environment I could think of to have this movie in.
Me too.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you, Rob. I believe Kat, though, and that is very respectable, Kat. For anyone who is
I will say this.
What?
This was the trade for House Shark, right?
Yeah, this was the trade for House Shark.
Mikey,
right.
you picked the better movie.
Rob.
I'll be damned.
If you remember, I did not like House Shark.
You
Well,
didn't
look at
like
that.
House Shark.
As a matter of fact, I think I gave House Shark the lowest score out of all three of us.
You
I think you did, yeah.
Yeah. So you did pick the better movie out of the two.
I'll be a damn. All right.
We'll see. We'll see
That's
how
rough.
good when we get to it. But
Yeah. Now, for anyone who doesn't remember, Rob's always been a butthole about Paranormal Activity. That's partly why we're here. But Kat didn't like it, and she was willing to give it a fair chance, and that's all I asked for was a fair chance with these movies.
right, and we covered the first movie, and I gave it a fair chance.
You did not. You did not. I might copy paste a sex tape montage from. Let's see how busy I am this week.
I think it has the vibe that it was going for in that regard. Like, I think that's a very strong element of this movie because it makes it feel more like found footage.
And 10 out of 10 times, if you bring a camera into the life of a couple, the guy's going to try to make a sex tape. This is a little sexy time for Rob advice for everybody.
Free sexy time advice. Wow.
Bad idea. Do not make a sex tape. Terrible idea. You never want to watch yourself doing that. Otherwise, you will not want to ever do that again because you look like a fucking idiot. I guarantee you that. You are much uglier than you think you are, and you do not want to see it on tape. You're
Fair
a
enough.
hideous, hideous, foul creature. You don't ever want to see it. You will disgust yourself, and no, it's not nearly the thrill you think. Now, look, making the tape might be a lot of fun, and I'm not against you making the tape as long as you delete it immediately and never watch it. So that's my tip. Make the tape, delete it immediately, never watch it, don't ever let anyone else see it. You will be disgusted by the result. This would have been a much more interesting movie had we actually gotten to see the sex tape. This chick is clearly crazy, but I've already got a camera here, and if I lean into this a little bit, I might get to make that sex tape that I want to make. I'm here, and I'm going to help you defeat this demon.
No, you're wrong.
And the best way to do that is to make a sex tape.
I cannot have a fucking thing on this show. You both know how long I've been wanting to talk about this movie, and you guys talk about a sex tape for like 10 minutes.
Driving factor in this movie, Mikey, is the sex tape. I'd be like, immediately, we need to move in together. I'm going to get a camera, and we're going to make a sex tape.
God damn it.
I'm going to play along with this crazy woman long enough to get the sex tape. You motherfucker. He's just trying to get a little ass and film it.
Can you not take this seriously for Mikey?
For a minute, man. God damn it.
Mika got himself caught up in a situation where he wanted a sex tape. No, I tried to frighten the shit out of women. I get them to have sex.
I believe you.
Mika should have started backtracking at that point because clearly he had made a mistake.
Yeah.
And yeah, he had really pissed her off. And
yeah, you don't want to do that.
You're trying to get to the sex tape stage and you're fucking making her mad. That is not good.
Call the demonologist. Do it.
So the play for Mika here was, hey, we can call the demonologist, but first we got to make this sex tape. All about the sex tape, Mikey.
It's not all about the sex tape.
That's the whole movie hinges on that because that's all Mika's trying to get is the sex tape. That's all he wants. He was my way into the movie. Like, I would totally be the one making fun of the fucking psychic come to my house and just trying to make a sex tape with a crazy girl.
I'm not even going to mention
He didn't mention
the dog.
sex tape anywhere in this fucking tip. He's real big on trying to get that sex tape.
No.
And also, we skimmed over this. At some point, they do turn off the camera, and then they turn it back on after they had sex, and he's like, that's illegal in Kentucky or whatever. You know what that means? They did butt stuff.
Thanks for bringing up butt stuff, though. Appreciate that.
Good for them. They didn't get it on tape, though. Make the tape if you want. Delete the tape and don't ever watch it. I'm so drunk, guys. He's not going to make him joke about her dead mom. He's trying to make a sex tape. Man. You don't do that. That's not sex tape worthy. We never really mentioned this because I talked a lot about sex tape, and that was pretty much it. I've been trying to keep it together, and I fear I have not been succeeding.
You haven't. I got news for you.
I
Did
do want to say also,
God
damn it, Rob.
And Rob would let him make the sex tape. He just wouldn't want to watch it with him.
Yeah, goddamn right. Goddamn right. I don't know if butt stuff is legal here in South Carolina or not, but we'll get down to it, Mika.
Probably going to
leak
into
Laura Humphrey Cup.
God damn it.
I'm not making a sex tape with Greg. I didn't talk about a sex tape that much.
Cat, help me here.
You talked about it maybe more than a person giving the movie a fair shake would have done.
Definitely
put it that
more
way.
If that's the scale, yeah, you did. Yeah.
Well, let's see if it makes a return later.
If better fucking not. All right, so we'll get to that later. This should be interesting. But we got Drink Roll Call to get to. We're going to go through some horror news. We do have a voicemail. It's unfortunately time for Camp Counselor Greg. I'm never going to stop calling him that. I don't know, because it's a cool name.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
it
that.
rolls off the tongue well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should go back to that, Greg. I enjoyed that. But this is Greg's Hot Take Corner. If you're familiar with Greg, God bless you. We're not liable for anything he says because, you know, Greg, these are hot takes, and Greg's movie opinions have literally stopped us in our tracks several times, mid-conversation. Yeah. We're due for another Hot Take Corner, like, episode, I think.
We are.
Oh, God's sake.
I know, I'm not happy about it, but I feel it needs to be done. I don't like it either. You can go check out Greg on TikTok at at Darth Gregor. And if you want to leave a voicemail, we will air it on the show and discuss it like we're about to do now.
Trace the call. It's coming from inside the house.
That number is 917-397-KILL. That's 917-397-5455.
Hello, Michael. Hello, Robert. Hi, Kat. It is I, Darth Gregor, back with another series of hot takes. Slashers are the best subgenre of horror. I did a tournament, I would know. The final four were black and white, Asian, vampire, and the winner slasher. Inferno is the best horror movie of 1980. The final four were Macabre, Friday the 13th, The Changeling, and the eventual winner, Inferno. The Hellraiser franchise is better than the Saw franchise. And Justine from Christie is a better final girl than Sidney Prescott from Scream.
What?
Thank you. Bye.
Okay.
Wow.
He does love Justine from Christie.
But Sidney Prescott? Why would he do that?
I don't know. I mean, we've talked about how my feelings on the Scream movie are changing.
Uh-oh. Yeah, Rob has some takes.
Yeah, but Rob, feel how you feel aside. Come on. You can't support that.
I mean, I don't remember the movie Christie that well, so it's hard for me to say.
I don't remember it super well either, but I know damn well Sidney Prescott, no. Slash is the best subgenre. I mean, I think Rob agrees. Cat's probably not, but I mean, I'm not mad at that.
I don't agree, but I'm not mad at it. Like, best subgenre is such a personal thing,
Here
Yeah.
comes Cat being argumentative again.
You calling me argumentative.
I have a feeling you guys are going to agree going forward in this one, so that probably won't last very long.
I will say, I don't love the idea that the Hellraiser franchise is better than the Saw franchise.
Yeah, so, Cat, you love Saw.
I love Saw.
I do not love Saw, as
I
has
also
been
love
discussed
Hellraiser.
at length on this show.
Yeah.
And even I would say that Saw is a better franchise than the Hellraiser franchise. The Hellraiser franchise is a fucking mess.
If we're taking full franchises, that's the thing that I really, and I talk about this a lot, but it's the thing that I really respect about Saw, not counting Spiral. You can't make me count that movie. Socks can't make me count that movie.
Socks?
Yeah, Socks. It's not gonna happen. Like, I won't count it. But the thing that I respect about the franchise is that as a franchise, it is coherent. I think, the quality dips, obviously, once you have that many movies, but I think, the lesser entries are still contributing to the story in some way. Hellraiser had Judgment in it. Hellraiser Judgment, which I feel like maybe even if you take that one out, to balance out taking out the worst Saw movie, I don't know. They're messy. They don't feel like a unit.
They're not.
They're
the
not.
thing. They reached a point with that franchise where I believe it was
They were just like
Dimensions.
licensing out the name so that they could keep the title.
They were literally buying scripts that weren't Hellraiser scripts and putting Pinhead in them so they could keep the rights to the name.
And some of those movies are hilarious, but like as a franchise, I don't think it's a good move.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't work at all. I mean,
Now, if you were going to take Hellraiser and Saw, I still would disagree with you, but I would be less upset, if you wanted to say that Hellraiser was better than Saw.
Yeah.
That's tough. I mean, Hellraiser had like 10 movies. How many does Saw have, Cat?
Hellraiser, I
Socks
think
is 10.
Socks is 10.
Socks,
Yeah.
yeah.
So 9. It had 9 movies. Refuse to count Spiral.
Yeah, I was going to say, they don't count Spiral in that, right?
That's the thing, is because it only makes sense. The 10 part only makes sense if you're counting Spiral, even though they made a big deal about that not being part of the timeline. So I don't know what the fuck they're doing there.
But even if you count Spiral, it's still a better franchise than Hellraiser.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I mean, Hellraiser's just a mess. It just doesn't. They weren't Hellraiser movies when they set out to make them. I mean, it's just awful.
And also, you guys know how I feel about Spiral. I have not seen it since it was in theater. I think it might be better than Judgment. So, like, Hellraiser Judgment's uncomfortable viewing.
Yeah, it's just Pinhead's there, and you want to like. He's not an. I don't know if he's quite enough to drag it over that line, because those more than half of those Hellraiser movies are forgiven because Pinhead's in it. I don't know.
That doesn't make them good movies.
That's true. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that the character's there, but the movie, like, it doesn't. It's not enough to drag it over that line. I don't know if I might put Friday the 13th. I don't know. Best movie in the 80s, in 1980.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
No, I would have to pull up a list of movies that came out in 1980 before I could determine that. Luckily, I have Letterboxd. Give me just a second.
Oh boy.
I'll be able to tell you.
I will say I can't discredit it just based off of my knowledge of movies that came out specifically in 1980.
The best overall movie of 1980 is Raging Bull, but that's not a horror film. The best horror film to come out in 1980 is Friday the 13th.
That's what I think too, man.
But there's also The Changeling, very good. Terror Train.
Changeling is good.
Cannibal Holocaust, rather. That came out in the 80. I mean,
New Year's Evil. Christmas Evil. Maniac.
Maniac's good.
Like Maniac.
Yeah, I mean, there's some good stuff.
Yeah, I disagree, Greg. Inferno, no. I'd put Friday the 13th over that, as cliche as it might be.
Yeah. The original one's a good movie.
Yeah. No. It is. I'm not, but I wouldn't say the best of 1980. That's tough. A lot of shit that came out in 80, though. I'll tell you that right now. All right. So, again, go check out Greg at Darth Gregor on TikTok. He does his lives every Saturday night, which are fun.
Yeah, they are a lot of fun.
Yeah, they yell at me.
He's doing a thing right now where he goes through viewers that have sent him their top lists, like their top 25 horror movies or whatever. It's fun.
I don't know if we ever really announced what we were doing.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know if you wanted to or not.
I think it's worth the hype. Because we're going to have to put work in on it, goddammit. I still am fucking
with it. Yeah, there's going to be some work.
I don't know what to do. Rob is sitting pretty because he has Letterboxd, so that's unfair. But
you guys have Letterboxd too. I just use mine.
Yeah, that's the thing, is this one's kind of on us for not using Letterboxd.
Well, that's not fair. I used Letterboxd one night a lot. I went through all of Rob's movies and re-rated them correctly. Anyway, so what we're doing for the 300th episode was Rob's idea, and we're all going to make our top 100 horror movies of all time list, which obviously comes out to 300. So look at you having a big brain.
That'll be episode 300. And then I'm going to take the funky math that I used for Murder by Numbers and apply it to all of our lists to create the Slasher Radio 100, which will be a Patreon episode.
I love that idea.
It's exciting.
But the problem is, what does that list mean with your math involved with it?
Rob's math for this list is he's just going to put his 100 first.
No, it means that it'll mean exactly what Murder by Numbers meant. The math actually will work a little better for this because we will have 3 lists with the same numbers of them. The biggest problem with Murder by Numbers was we did 3 franchises that had a different number of movies in each one. So it made it a little harder.
Okay. I see.
And then I'd also like to do a Patreon, like top 25, like let our patrons submit their lists.
Yeah.
And then we could do like a top 25 from that too, using the same funky math.
Yeah.
That's going to be a wild list.
Yeah. The math might be funky, but it'll be the consistently funky math. So it'll be okay.
Okay.
Oh my God. This is not good. This means, my Scream and Nightmare thing is going to come to a fucking head. Oh, you tricked me, you son of a bitch.
What happened?
My Scream and Nightmare controversy in my fucking head. Rob, you dirty bastard.
Why does that come to a head?
Because it does.
No, it doesn't. I mean, I've long said that Halloween is a perfect horror movie.
Maybe.
I mean, you're looking at the individual movies, not the franchise as a whole.
it means something though. Oh fuck, I didn't even think of that. We've been knowing about this for weeks, and I've been putting it off because I don't want to do it. I don't have the time to do it. Is really an issue, but it's gonna be so hard to do. And now I just thought of that. Son of a bitch, Rob.
I'm convinced it's not going to take me that long. I'll probably do it on an envelope 5 minutes before we start recording.
It'll take me a long time. Oh, is it worth mentioning your other idea for the 300th episode, Rob?
I don't know what the other idea was.
You wanted to have Mr. Cat's boyfriend guy on to watch something.
Oh, I wanted to have him on for an episode on Friday the 13th, part 3. Yeah. Yeah. There was that. I also pitched the idea. Cat went mysteriously quiet when I mentioned that, so I figured it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
And then I pitched the idea of us watching the entire Twilight saga and reviewing it, and you guys both shot that down fast.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. 300th episode Twilight. Forever.
Here's the thing about Twilight, is that there are Twilight drinking games. There are just fantastic lines in Twilight where you have to wonder, like, who was a writer for this? My favorite, I've gone on record as saying, is hang tight spider monkey. Makes no goddamn sense in a vampire movie. Great, fantastic. I would be willing to do it as a watch along. I'd be willing to put myself through that again as a watch along. I think if we cover it on a horror show like Slasher Radio, it validates the idea that Twilight is a horror movie. And I'm not there. I'm not ready to.
Yeah, I'll do it for a watch along too. I'm not gonna be happy watching it, but
I'll drink it a lot.
It would be funnier and better as a watch along, probably. Yeah, we talked about that before.
Yeah, I just don't like validating the idea, and I'm trying to get better about, like, because there's been all that gatekeeping controversy in the horror community, and I'm trying to get better about, like, Jurassic Park and Jaws and I don't know, the Interview with the Vampire.
Gatekeeper.
But Twilight it's I'm not there yet.
yeah, no, I'll never fucking be there. No,
I
it's
need
not
more
a horror movie.
therapy before.
But anyway, that's the plan that we're going to do. Our top 100, our individual top 100 list, that will be episode 300. And then we'll do a Patreon episode. So Patreon exclusive. So you can sign up, you cheap bastards, if you want to hear it. We'll have the Slasher Radio 100. And then if we get enough submissions from patrons of their top, I don't even know what list.
You know what's going to happen? Griggs is going to be the only one to submit, and we're just going to have to his list straight.
Then I'll do like a Patreon top whatever list too.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
It's tougher to come up with hard numbers for that one because I don't know how many submissions we'll get. Because again, I've said this before, our listeners are the least involved listeners.
That's not entirely true.
It is too. How many years now? 2 years in a row with the Slashy Awards, we can't get people to vote.
Well, no, that's not
the
true.
ones that do vote for dumb shit, and we end up giving movie of the year to Halloween Ends or whatever.
Well, that's not entirely true. They voted with the listener pick the first year. They were pretty adamant. It was just so happened that Al Bundy was the winner.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still, like, I'm not even mad at that one though. Like that makes me happy. I'm really happy that Al Bundy won an award.
He's in the Hall of Fame. Slasher Radio Hall of Fame has 2 people in it, Amber and Al Bundy.
Great company.
Yeah.
Great company. And I would also like again to mention that Al Bundy just edged out Stevie Juice for the inaugural Humphrey, whatever the hell that lifetime achievement crap you had.
The Lord Humphrey Lifetime Achievement Award, yeah.
Yeah, just edged out Stevie, which the bit was done after 1 fucking year too, guys. That one hurts a little. Yeah. All right. Drink roll call. I am drinking a Twisted Tea, Long Island iced tea.
Right.
Nothing wrong with that. Can't make fun of that one, Rob.
No, that's fine.
No?
Kat, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking an apple teeny.
Okay.
When I say apple teeny, I know you're thinking like a girly drink, with like the pretty glass and the apple slice and it's all mixed and stuff. I put all of the apple teeny stuff into what was left of the bottle of apple pucker, and I'm drinking it straight out of the bottle.
Nice.
Because I did not want to find glasses.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a good move.
I
Yeah.
switched it up, but nothing exotic or interesting. I'm drinking a whiskey sour.
Ooh.
Classy. I like it. Very classy.
I don't know about classy, but
Yeah, it's,
it's nice.
sophisticated. Maybe that's a better word. Yeah, it's a man drink.
it's good. I like it.
All right, you guys want to move into some horror news?
Yeah, do we have news?
Yeah, a little bit.
It's time to hump the news with Rob Humphrey.
He's not a genius. All right, it's still this strike needs to end for so many reasons, but just for the fact, like, there's really so much shit's at a standstill. Like, we're not getting a lot of shit. It's kind of dying down, and this is a great example of such. Slaughterhouse has been announced. Go ahead. I don't know. It's a movie about a killer sloth, I'm guessing.
So my understanding of Slaughterhouse at the moment is that it is in a limited theatrical run and hopefully will be streaming soon.
Oh, okay. I hope it's streaming never. That's my hope.
Because, we're going to watch it on the show.
I hope we don't have to.
It's about a killer sloth, Mikey. It's going to be awesome.
You forgot that he hates fun.
I don't hate fun. I hate dumb. This is dumb. It's a killer sloth. No, I don't need to see a killer sloth.
Dude, I don't know anything about sloths. They could be the most vicious animal on the planet. I have no idea.
They're not.
I was going to say, but they're not. They're the slowest moving animal on the planet.
Just because you're slow doesn't mean you're not vicious.
They're all cute and cuddly.
So they shouldn't be around killing things. I don't like this at all.
Well,
That's
from my I don't know the
scary.
full plot, but from what I take away from it, a sorority house gets a sloth for some reason.
Yeah, what every sorority house has, fucking sloth sitting around. All right, well, yeah, apparently that's a thing. So, does it have a release date on here?
I thought I saw it was out. Like,
it's
I
out?
think it's having the theatrical release now.
It's a theatrical release? They put this thing in the
It's having
theater?
a limited theatrical release.
I hope it's super limited.
Yeah, it's very limited from what I can tell, though.
Yeah, good. That's good. Oh, it came out August 30th. Yeah. Amazing.
Did you watch the trailer?
I skimmed through the trailer.
It looks good.
No, it does. I disagree strongly. Next up, though, is Victor Crowley is heading to Screambox. You can get Hatchet 2, Hatchet 3, and Victor Crowley on Screambox. You can go watch that right now. Again, it's slow news, but the Hatchet movies are good.
Wait, which one?
Hatchet 2, 3, and Victor Crowley.
Oh, but not the original one? That's weird.
Yeah, not the original.
Yeah, those are good movies. They're fun.
I'm not even mad about the original thing. I think Hatchet 2 is better than the original.
I don't remember which one is which, to be honest with you. They're all kind of the same.
Yeah, it had more Tony Todd.
Well,
I
that's
like
good.
that.
Yeah. Yeah, they're both good. I like those movies. They're both good. Slaughterhouse, by the way, is Rotten Tomatoes. It's fresh. It's 67%. 94% audience score.
Fucking people are out of their
Oh,
minds.
it can't be bad then.
Right?
Does it show me how many how many people put in for that?
Hold on.
Was it like 4 people?
Hold on. I'm not on. I was trying to find a showing near me.
Oh my god.
It doesn't look like it's showing anywhere near
We're
me.
very
which is
different people.
unfortunate. Let me see if I can pull it up. I don't know if it shows you that or not, but
Yeah, I don't know if it does either.
I'm gonna try and pull it up real quick. Slaughterhouse. Hope this is the right Slaughterhouse.
Are there multiple slaughterhouses? Have I been
No.
missing out?
This is
It
a sequel?
it just says 50 plus ratings. It doesn't have an exact number.
That's
Okay.
sad that there's 50 plus. That's unfortunate.
No.
It is, I will say this, it is a PG-13 movie.
Interesting.
And it's also listed on Rotten Tomatoes as a comedy/drama.
Ooh. Yikes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know what's up with that, but
That doesn't bode real well, but
yeah. It must not be showing anywhere near me because I can't find anything. I will say the theaters around here suck about that.
Lucky you. Dodged the bullet on that one. All right, next thing up is Saw for the new Saw movie, Sawx. They released a new image. I sent it to you guys earlier in the week because I thought it was pretty cool, and it's EyeRChris.
Yeah.
I don't remember it. Are you sure you sent it to me?
Scroll up a little bit. Yeah, it's in the group.
You always do that. You say you sent me something, but you didn't.
I always
really
send
did.
it. I really did.
Oh, yeah, I
did.
see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's an eyeball, it's a heart, and it's a saw.
Yeah.
Get it, Rob?
Yeah, I got you.
You picked it up? All right. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It looks cool. Interesting promotion for a Saw movie. We've never seen that before.
Yeah.
Very fitting. I'm looking forward to it.
We knew that. I'm looking forward to it too, though.
I mean, like, my hopes, after they said that they were doing another Saw movie after Spiral, my hopes were not real high because and at this point in the game, we have the abandoned storyline about, I think his name was Logan from Jigsaw. Like, we never picked that up. We now have this weird Spiral timeline going on, and when they announced that they were doing another one that had nothing to do with either of those two things, I was not thrilled, you know, just because it feels like we're leaving a lot of loose ends in a franchise that was known for tying up its loose ends later. But they're listening to the fans, I feel like, because even though this isn't tying up either one of those things, this is the Saw that we all liked. Like, this was the Saw that worked best, and we're just going back to that. I like that.
This one, it fits in between the original and the second one, right? Is that?
Yeah.
I hate that, by the way.
I don't. I think it's maybe a good call.
It super annoys me that franchises do that now all the time.
It annoys me a lot of the time, but like, this one doesn't bother me as much because there is a gap in the timeline there that we have not seen filled, and it's the era of Saw that worked best, you know?
I guess. I don't know. I blame Marvel.
It might be Marvel's fault.
Halloween did it very well.
What?
Halloween did it with 2018.
They didn't slot that in between two movies in the franchise, though. They just picked up from the end of the original. It's a little different. I mean, I'm talking about like Insidious, how there's two movies and then two prequels, and now there's another movie. It's all over the place. Or The Conjuring, where shit's all out of order and all over the place. Now I have to, I'm tasked with doing homework to figure out where in the timeline this movie fits. It's a pain in the ass.
That being said, I do think it is different to slot them in between two movies, and I think that Sawx has the potential to do that really well. Like, I think they have the setup to do it well if they're paying attention. But if we got a divergent timeline for Saw, one of the beautiful things about Saw is that they've never had to do it. But coming off of Spiral, I think if the Saw filmmakers were like, we want to do a different timeline, we want to strip the Saw canon down to like those first two films, I would love that. That would be great. They could do that. I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm not mad at Saw for it, because Saw's timeline was, I mean, the movies were kind of all over the place in, timeline as it is. So, like, I can't get mad at it now. And plus, they should have did this a long time ago. Like, the fact that they got away from Kramer and Amanda, like, that made no sense to me to begin with. And that's kind of when that's definitely when the franchise, at least for me, started going downhill.
I think they continued the franchise a lot more gracefully than something like Halloween or Friday, where they went like way, way, way off the rails. But I think just in terms of quality of movie, we were there for Kramer, and we got to see less and less Kramer, after he died. So
yeah,
that typically happens with characters.
It just, it's with Friday and Halloween, like, you can't. The movies declined in quality, sure, but like, they kind of understood what they were doing at that point. Like, I feel like Saw went the other way, which I'm not mad at them for trying to do, I guess. But it just, to me, again, it wasn't interesting enough to keep me there. And I think that was my problem with Saw. And not to say that, Halloween and Friday, what they did along the way and all those were interesting to keep me around, but I sat down and seen Jason. All right. You know?
Is John Kramer going to have to wear a backwards baseball cap for the entire movie so we know he's younger?
I hope he does.
Speaking of Saw stuff, there is a Saw musical, the unauthorized parody of Saw, coming to New York this Halloween.
And I made you an offer, Mikey. I'll forgive the $100,000 debt you owe me if you get me out of the unlicensed Saw musical. My two favorite things in this world are Saw and unlicensed musicals. Like, I'm ready for whatever this is.
It might be worth $100,000 for me to not see this, honestly. I don't like musicals at all. I'm not the biggest Saw fan in the world. I like it more than Rob. I guess doesn't really say much. But I like it well enough. But musical for Saw, no.
Hey, I happen to own all the Saw movies except for Spiral.
I don't own any of them, so you're ahead of me on that. I'll give you that. That's
By
true.
the way, Kat, if you're planning on going to see this musical, don't plan on staying at Mikey's place. He won't let you.
I told you could stay here, Rob.
I tried to see Fish, and you didn't want nothing to do with it.
I said I didn't want to go see Fish. You could have came here drunk and high, and I would have, we would have had a good old time. You'd have slept with the dog, though.
Are you going to go see the Saw musical, Mikey? It's right there in your backyard.
No. I'm not. No, I just said I'd spend $100,000 not. No.
What do you do with your time?
No. I wish that's what I did. I would have more time. That's the problem. I'm running out of time with it.
Unlicensed musicals, though, that's where it gets good.
That might be a little better. I'll admit. Yeah, that might be a little better. Rob, you like musicals? You don't like fucking musicals? What are you talking about?
I hate musicals.
So what the hell are you? No, I'm not gonna go see this.
But I've never made any bones about it. You like try to stick up for them.
A couple of them, yeah, I like a couple of them. I'm not gonna go see. Musicals are long. Musical movies are movies. These things are hours.
Yeah, musicals are a long experience.
Yeah, no, I'm not sitting there. You got dressed nice. Well, I don't know how you got dressed to this. I don't fucking know, man.
You can't dress nice to the Saw musical, right?
I guess not. I dressed really shitty for that Green Day thing I got tricked into going to. I'll tell you that.
Maybe you would have to dress nice for the Saw musical, but not the unlicensed Saw musical.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Next thing. This is very interesting, and I just found out about it looking through stuff to talk about for the news segment. So I haven't really looked into it yet. So you guys are going to be, well, the listeners at least are going to be diving into this with me. There's a thing called Dylan's New Nightmare, which is a fan sequel to New Nightmare.
Yeah, I saw something about this earlier today.
Do you know anything about it, or you just seen it?
I just saw the story. It's it's like a fan film sort of sequel to New Nightmare that picks up Dylan's story. I gotta be honest with you, I'm not sure who the fuck Dylan is, so I kind of lost interest in that.
Isn't he the kid? Was that the kid's name?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the kid.
Well, so you guys know more about it than I do.
Well, we know the characters.
No, I just know your favorite Nightmare on Elm Street movie better than you do, apparently.
That's fair enough. But I don't know. I had no interest in it. It's a fan film. I don't care. Some of these fan films have gotten good. Like some of them look really, really good. So but I still have that thing in my brain that dismisses them immediately.
It's a weird thing. It's hard to ignore them entirely. They're never gonna get to the level of movies for me, but I do look at them differently now. Because I still,
and I do, like I said, I recognize that they look really good these days, and some of them have been really, really good. It's just for whatever reason my brain hasn't made that turn. So it's kind of, it's still like, I still kind of look at direct to streaming movies the same way. Like, to me, for some reason, they're a step below theatrical releases, which is ridiculous because some of them have been incredible.
Absolutely.
That's
but
fair.
This thing, it's weird. I'm really looking for, I wish I had more time before I found this to look into it. But apparently Miko Hudgens is in it, who played Dylan in, the in New Nightmare. And this thing looks like it's part documentary. Cindergrim's involved with this, which is, bloody disgusting ultimately.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it looks like there's some money behind this, and I want to see it.
No, check it out. I don't know. I know they got some guy playing Freddy. That'll be weird.
Yeah. Yeah, but you know what? The sad part is, it's the last. We haven't gotten Freddy since 2010.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the other thing. As far as I know, they're doing nothing with this franchise at the moment. I haven't heard anything about a Nightmare project at all.
Yeah. I don't know. But I'm down to see it. The last and final thing, you guys are going to be haters, I know, but there is a new Five Nights at Freddy's trailer out.
Who gives a shit?
See? Why?
They missed the boat with this movie. This movie should have come out 5 years ago.
I agree with that. But there is a good look at the animatronics in here, and God, they look phenomenal.
Well, we knew that they were gonna look phenomenal because the Jim Henson studio.
Yeah, but I mean, it looks great. You see Matthew Lillard in the new trailer. I'm here for this movie, man. I'm here for it.
Is anywhere in the trailer does Nicolas Cage play pinball?
No.
Then I'm out. I don't care.
I don't know why you don't care,
I already
man.
saw the better version of this movie.
We don't know
That's
that
the
yet.
thing. No, we do.
Yeah.
No, we don't.
No, we absolutely do. Here's the thing. I already have like tickets. I'm ready to go on this opening day. I'm gonna be at FNAF. It's inevitable. I am going to hate this movie if I'm not adequately prepared for the fact that we have the FNAF movie that I wanted, and it stars Nick Cage as a silent protagonist, because that was what Five Nights at Freddy's should have done 5 years ago when Willy's Wonderland came out. Like, they had the concept, they had the timing, they had the cast, like they nailed it. And I have to be prepared for the fact that the Blumhouse one is not going to be as good. Going into it with that mindset is going to help me appreciate it for what it is. But my expectations need to be in line, because it's not going to be as good. I know that. I know that.
I don't have the boner for Nicolas Cage nor Willy's Wonderland that you guys do. I like Willy's Wonderland.
You liked Willy's Wonderland.
I did a lot. Not as much you guys though.
It's a great movie.
It was a very good movie. Yeah, it was great. But I mean, I could never dismiss a movie for a movie that bit off the concept of this movie based on that, because like it's I don't know, I just see it as hard to do. But I mean, that movie was really good, but I feel like this is going to bring that whole, animatronics and a fucking evil Chuck E. Cheese to life better. Like I feel like it's going to do that, and that's what I care about most in it. And I don't have the Nicolas Cage boner, you guys. Like that. I mean, that wasn't special to me.
I don't see how they can bring that to life better than they did in Willy's Wonderland. And you're replacing Nicolas Cage with Matthew Lillard. No thanks.
That's fine with me. I would pick Matthew Lillard over Nicolas Cage any day. I said it.
Matthew Lillard has done nothing except for Scream, the most overrated movie in history.
Scooby-Doo. Hey, whoa. Wait a minute. That flew right over my fucking head. Hold on a second. The most overrated. Not true. Not true at all. All right. But that aside, he was Shaggy. He was a perfect Shaggy.
That was stupid.
It was not stupid. It's not movies for us.
Scooby-Doo movies are stupid.
They're kids' movies, Rob.
They're stupid, is what they are.
We're not supposed to like them. But again, this is honestly the way I look at it, and you guys might hate this. Like, anybody could have did what Nicolas Cage did in that movie.
Nobody could have done what Nicolas Cage did in that movie. You know how hard it is to carry an audience, to carry a film like that, to play it so straight and have everyone just rooting for you. Even when you have a script, he didn't have any dialogue. That's just raw charisma carrying Willy's Wonderland. And it works. The whole thing works.
I don't see that at all.
Matthew Lillard could not have done it.
Anybody could have done that. It's just
nobody could have done that except for Nicolas Cage.
What did he do special?
The dancing, the delivery, the eye movements, the fucking thing with the handcuffs.
He doesn't say a single word of dialogue in that film, yet you know exactly who that character is, Mikey.
Yeah, he is that
you've
character.
seen Five Nights at Freddy games. He's a silent dude who plays pinball, and he's being.
Hey, guess who hasn't played Five Nights at Freddy games?
All right, well, but you know the concept.
No, like, I do not. I don't know dick about those games. I've watched my kids play those games once.
But he has to survive a night in this thing. They told him. I mean,
that's not character. That's story. I'm talking about the character that Nicolas Cage played. You knew exactly who that guy was and what he was thinking, and he doesn't say a single word the entire time. It's brilliant.
I get a lot of Kane Hodder vibes from that role. That's all I'm saying.
He has more characterization in Willy's Wonderland than any of the protagonists do in the entire FNAF franchise.
Or the entire Scream franchise.
Oh, here we go. Now you're just saying shit to say shit. Well, I mean, again, we're going to agree to disagree on this one, because I don't see Nicolas Cage as, like, again, I never really liked him.
Is this movie's gonna suck, and Mikey's gonna be like, well, it's still better than Willy's Wonderland. The longer this goes on, the more dismissive Mikey's going to get about.
I'm not being
the best
dismissive
FNAF
at all.
movie of all time.
If it's bad, I'll say it's bad. Scream 6. I came right out. I had every reason to love that thing. And I came right out and said it. It wasn't, it was what it was. If it sucks, I'll say it sucks.
Look, I hope I'm pleasantly surprised, because we all know I'll end up seeing this piece of junk anyway. But it's just not going to be any good.
I'll say this. I don't know if they confirm that fucking 3-hour bullshit. If they did that, I understand. There's lore. I get it. Okay. I don't know any of it. So you don't need to do it all in one fucking movie, if that's their thought process.
Especially because don't they have like 5 more movies? Didn't they get picked up for a bunch of these?
I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, I would imagine it would be damn near impossible for them to not. Like, it's gonna make a huge amount of money. No matter how bad it is, the amount of money it's gonna make, they'll get at least 2 movies out of that. So, I don't know. I hope 3-hour thing is bullshit. That'll piss me off. I'll tell you right now. That will be a negative. But we'll see. We'll see when it comes out. I'm looking forward to it, because it's a long time coming. It's a big fucking deal. It looks cool. Let's do it, I guess. But that's all I have for news. Do I have to hit my damn button?
Yes.
Crazy idiot! Get the fuck out of here! Go ahead, go back to turning tricks in Hoboken, you pain in the ass!
It's the Gabagooli Mystery Corner, where our listeners anonymously send in Italian memes, making fun of me for being Italian. There's no horror tie-in here. There's, none of that.
Celebrating your culture.
I'm really excited about this one because I want it the fuck off my phone. I don't like this one.
Oh, God. The memes go up on Patreon. We try and describe them on the show.
Oh.
I know, this has been on my phone for almost a full month.
What? Why?
It's that bad, Rob?
No.
Let's see. What the fuck is that? This isn't even a meme.
It's not. It's not. Really.
It's not even a fucking meme. It's just there.
It's just there being gross.
It's just gross.
It's a.
And now it's in that. And now it's in our group chat.
God damn it, man! It's got a toe ring.
Oh wait, there's a button that says delete for you, so it's gone for mine.
All right, well, I'm gonna do that in a second.
Yeah.
As soon as I'm done trying to explain the fucking thing. I hate feet. This is
really. I always figured you'd be a foot guy, Mikey.
Did you notice the wine label though?
No.
That really makes it for me.
I can't really see it. Hold on.
It's barefoot wine.
Oh, okay. It's a plate of spaghetti with feet in it. Like the bottom of 2 feet right next to each other. Apparently it's got barefoot wine next to it. It's got one of the toes got a toe ring. Fuck, man. Why? I don't know. Whoever sent this in, I'm getting EyeRChris vibes. I'm not gonna lie. Like, there's not many sick fuckers that'll find some shit like this on the internet, I think, to spread it, let alone save it somewhere to send it to somebody. So
the exact. Can I read a statement from the anonymous listener?
Oh,
sure.
This is a first.
It's not really a statement. It's the note that this was sent in with.
Okay.
Not sure if this has been submitted before, which it had not been, just to confirm.
Thank God.
I'd imagine Mikey would hate, all capital letters, it as much as I do.
All right.
So this one it's a personal attack on you.
Oh, well, all of them are. Literally.
Most of the time we're celebrating your culture. This, I think, is a little too much.
0 of the time we're celebrating my culture. All right, maybe it's not Chris. I feel like Chris would like something like this.
I'm a little disappointed that the statement wasn't from the desk of anonymous submitter RE, Italian meme.
Yeah.
We need to open up another anonymous folder, like the complaint forms for people to send gabagool. I do also have an update about the Gabagool Mystery Corner.
Mm-hmm.
I have not tabulated the number of Gabagool memes that I've gotten this week. I will say people have doubled down. I don't know what story they think I'm going to tell about the inception of this, but everyone went into fucking panic mode. This has been our busiest Gabagool Mystery Corner.
Why? It backfired. I tried to get people to have something to look forward to end this shit, and they're like, "Oh, hell with that. Here we go."
Oh, man.
Fuck.
So we're going well into. We were at like 6 months.
Yeah.
How many? Do you know how?
I said, I haven't. I would say we got maybe 12 memes this week.
What? We had like 16. Oh my God.
Now we're looking at like another 9 months.
We've got to be closing in on a year of Gabagool Mystery Corner memes.
You know what's gonna happen? I'm gonna have no choice, but I don't know where I would have to go. Like Supreme Court? Like where do I have to go to put a forceful end on this shit? Maybe I'll write Fansided and report our own show. Maybe they can make us stop.
I hope that when Slasher Radio dies, that's how it goes out, is us reporting it to Fansided.
Right. Like I gotta DM Patrick and be like, look, dude, they won't stop. It'd be like, it'd be the most confusing thing.
You always insist he listens to this show, but I can't imagine.
He's commented before. I don't know how regularly he listens, but that's why I got to bring it to his attention. Patrick, if you're listening to this and you're not doing anything, I'm very upset. I got to be honest. The hell, man.
I feel like he's not listening. He would have pulled the plug on this show a while ago.
He's definitely not signed up to the Patreon. He hears Killer Beats this week.
Oh my God.
It's going to be the end of everything.
Yeah. Now, would it make you feel any better, Mikey, if you knew that Tony Danza competed on Dancing with the Stars in 2008?
Albeit, that is probably the most interesting Tony Danza fact you've ever provided. Yeah. I still I don't care. Like, why are you doing this?
Because it's a way to pay homage to the patron saint of Italian Americans.
Why don't you have soul? Why? Where were you when they were giving out souls? Because, like, you just heard how many fucking submissions we got. You don't care. You had to do this on top of it.
I said, I hope it'll make you feel better.
Why would something you know I don't like make me feel better?
Because he was on Dancing with the Stars. It's nice.
I don't watch Dancing with the Stars.
But so you probably didn't know that.
No, I didn't.
Now you do.
I don't care. Fuck.
You want me to find you a clip of him on the show?
No. But unfortunately, I have to hit my melody because we have another huge clown penis alley.
Oh.
Yeah. So.
Huge clown penis.
Huge clown penis.
Huge clown penis.
Huge clown penis.
It's really hard to get the timing down on that. This is similar to the Gabagool Mystery Corner where memes are submitted anonymously. I don't know how to start it, but here we go. I don't get this one. I'm hoping one of you guys will. There it is. I was going to say I feel like Kat will. Kat, do you want to describe this one, maybe?
I don't. What?
I don't get it.
It's a, oh God, this is more the kind of game content that I would get. This is, it'd help if I could come up with the guy's name. for reference, I've not played Baldur's Gate 3 yet. But it is one of the Baldur's Gate 3 characters who is standing there shirtless with clown makeup, and it reads Baldur Gate has huge clown penis. Good content. This is good. It's one thing that has been coming around about this game is that it's very pornographic in some places. There have been a lot of memes going around of this one. You can walk in.
What's the name of that game?
Apparently you can walk in on some pretty traumatizing things playing this game.
Okay. Well,
all right.
I mean, yeah, the clown makeup looks cool.
The clown makeup it's good.
I mean, I could say that, I guess. I don't know anything about this game. I haven't heard about it. Apparently Rob is going to be going through it.
This is what it takes to finally get Rob into nerd shit.
Promise porn. All right.
Oh, it works. I mean, that's why Game of Thrones works.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Well, that show was something else.
What was your favorite part, Rob? Was it the dragons?
Yeah. Love the dragons.
That's hysterical. All right. Well, that's it for the gabagool and the clown penis. Well, why is the clown penis thing catching on? What catches on this show?
All the dumb shit.
Yeah, all of it. Not slashy votings.
No, nobody cares about that.
Spend days making a goddamn trophy on Photoshop. Nope, not that. Clown penis.
Yeah, that's the thing, is Rob says that we don't have active listeners in this show. They're very active. It's just not in the corners that we request.
Yeah, that's like I said, if the Patreon list will be just Greg movies, he'll be the only person to submit a list.
Yeah, that's why I disagreed when Rob said it. Whenever he said it, I think it was Patreon. I don't remember. But yeah, they participate, but they only do it when they feel like it. Mm-hmm. And this is the shit they feel like doing. Unbelievable.
Well, it's got to be nice to see this whole community come together to support you and celebrate your heritage like that, Mikey.
And yeah, I'm on the list of huge clown penis. That's what I'm on the list of. Yeah, I feel real fucking special.
You know, the crazy part about this is I've seen so many Baldur's Gate 3 memes. I would fully believe anything that I saw would be in the game. Like, if I saw this not in the context of you sending it to me for the show, I wouldn't even think of Slasher Radio. I would just be like, what the fuck is going on in that game? Because there's so many of them.
Yeah. Well, it's made its way here. All right. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with Paranormal Activity 2. Fucking feet, man. How do I delete this now?
There's a thing.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, it says delete for you.
It's gone now.
You can't delete it for the whole group, but
Cat's the only one with it now. Good.
Oh no, I deleted it immediately for me.
All right, I need to refresh my drink.
All right.
Yeah, I was just walking around with that in my phone, and then like one of the other listeners that frequently sends them was like, "Is it one I sent? Have I done something terrible?" Like, no. The beauty of this is that even though I talk about multiple listeners, I feel like everyone that sends these feels like they're the only ones still sending them.
It's fucked up, man. PSA, you're not. Clearly. Calm down and stop, please. Jesus Christ.
And the numbers are in. I'm at 30 Gabagool Mystery Corner.
Oh my God.
Because I did get a lot of duplicates. So it wasn't.
Christ.
The damage was not as bad as we thought.
That doesn't make it better, really, in the long run. That just means they're fucking doing it more than it seems. The numbers aren't even, they're not even inflated. Fuck.
No.
We might have to start doing like 2 or 3 of these just to crack it down. Trust me, I don't want to, but we might be at a point.
We might be there.
It might be to a point where we just do a fucking Patreon show blowing through like 10 of them. Because we're not going to run out. Like, it's clear. Like, if that didn't do it, I was curious to know what the hell the damn story was. They didn't give a fuck.
No, they didn't. My favorite thing was that like people that weren't involved in the story also were like, "You're a bunch of gabagool." Like everyone thinks that I'm gonna like tattle on them. I think
Oh yeah, try to no, she is
everyone
not.
thinks this is
doing
an
it.
extortion scheme.
Nope. I wish it was. I truly, truly wish it was. Cat cannot be bribed.
Nope,
Son of a bitch.
not even with unlicensed Saw musical.
No. She'd sooner give up $100,000 than stitch you out for a fucking Italian meme. Very prideful. I'll admit that is nice. I'll snitch all of them out for like a couple $100. I'll tell you right now. I'll tell you what, I stitch them all out for a fucking, I don't know why. I'm in the mood for like a deli sandwich.
Ooh.
If I could Uber eat like a good one right now, yeah, I'd snitch them all out for that sandwich. I'm trying to think of the best way to articulate this thought. Paranormal Activity, when did the first one
Sucks.
come out? That is not what I was going to say.
No.
Paranormal Activity, the first film, came out in 2007. That was like, that was my like prime years.
Mm-hmm. Cat was 5 years old.
It was that movie was a big deal. That was like my era's Blair Witch. Not that I'm comparing the movies, I'm comparing the impact that they had in their time. Both found footage, a lot of similarities there. And you ruined that for me when I got to talk about it last time, Rob. So here we go again. Paranormal Activity 2. They were following up from the original, which was such a big deal. They had a little bit of money to play with. I feel like they did a great job keeping that subtlety and not getting carried away, even though having a budget, which they had practically nothing in the first one. Because if they did, we'd have fucking Conjuring movies.
Well, we do have Conjuring movies.
We do, but I'm saying they would have turned into Conjuring movies.
Oh.
I'm not talking about anything past like 4. They got out of control. But as for the first 3, I stand by strongly. And I feel like this was, they told a story in it and continued a story and created a foundation for, a story they had going forward. Although, again, later on in the franchise. But, hey, man, here we are, Paranormal Activity 2. What are you guys' opening thoughts?
I agree with a lot of what you said. They continue to be really boring. We sat there and watched a whole lot of nothing happen for a long time. It is, I will say, super, super effective that if you understand that the pool cleaner was in the pool.
Oh my fucking God.
And then it was out of the pool.
Uh-huh.
I mean, geez. And they showed us a lot of shots of the pool cleaner in the pool. And then all of a sudden it was out of the pool and it was scary. No, this is worse than the first one. This movie.
What?
Yeah, this movie is not good.
Okay. Kat, what about you?
So I will say, watching it through, I gave myself the best chance to like this that I could. It was a little bit harder today because I had to watch it like during the day this time. Like last time I waited until like 3:00 in the morning, lights off, but I pulled the curtains, I got into an environment as quiet as I could. I turned the phone off. I focused. I tried to get into the hype for this one. And overall, my thoughts on it, there were some good things that I have to say about it in relation to my feelings on the first one. There were definitely some lower points in my relation to the first one. I think I was really surprised because, like, getting to the end of this one, I overall felt like the experience with the first Paranormal Activity, despite having different strengths and weaknesses, I feel like it was a pretty similar viewing experience in a lot of ways. And we'll touch on this again briefly when we get around to reviews. I ended up doing a little bit of research for this one, for some like fan reactions to this. There is a huge difference with fans regarding the first to second Paranormal Activity movies. I guess a lot of people that liked Paranormal Activity did not like the second one as much. A lot of people that felt let down by the first one, but who had their interest piqued by the second one, thought it was a lot better. So something like fans of this came out of the second one with a very different experience, which was interesting to me. Because I would put that one is better. One of them is better than the other one, strongly, in my opinion. But they're similar experiences, you know. Like tonally, visually, I think they do a good job making it different while keeping that consistency, you know.
Okay, all right. I'm still a little shocked at Rob saying this is worse than the first one.
This is way worse than the first one.
Yeah,
This is the one that's worse.
This one is nowhere near. I mean, this
How?
one's bad.
I don't know if I don't know what Rob's things were. I took a few notes. I only took a couple notes during this.
Oh, I got notes for days.
A lot of them were very early in. My first note verbatim. Yes, the two things I missed from Paranormal Activity: baby talk and poop jokes. And I think that sums up pretty well my issues with the movie as a whole, is that it was like Paranormal Activity, but we added more annoying characters. There was a lot of talk about poop, and we had to really care about the safety of a baby. I'm a terrible person. I just don't care that much about the baby.
I just thought it was dull. Like the first one is a lot of nothing happening. This one is more of nothing happening. I mean, I said I had a lot of notes. Half dozen of them are about the pool cleaner.
God damn it.
I guess I am going to be a little bit argumentative with Rob here. After all, I think the pool cleaner, there was one shot of the pool cleaner in particular that I thought was the stupidest thing I'd ever seen in a movie in my entire life. I hated it. But aside from that one shot, the thing with the pool cleaner and the thing with the like kitchen island, that we have these two recurring shots in the movie that are very similar each time. And I would say there's a good 5 minutes in this movie, if not 10 minutes, of just the dad putting the pool cleaner back into the pool in the mornings.
Which is why you can't watch this movie at 3:00 in the morning. It's too scary.
It's too scary.
God damn it.
But I genuinely do think that that's an improvement on the first. It's the one area that I think Paranormal Activity 2 outshined the first. It's a visual representation of how we adjust to living with something in our house that we don't want to address. And it's just little stuff like that. He got into the habit of putting the pool cleaner back into the pool. And whereas Paranormal Activity, the first one, they have those little like bumps in the night and the shadows and the like things subtly moving and stuff. But it was like a fucking Where's Waldo situation where you have to be looking for them constantly. Paranormal Activity 2 committed to the fact that not everyone was going to sit through a second film like that where you had to pay that much attention, and they gave us visual cues that were easier to follow and worked, like the pool cleaner.
There is some of that Where's Waldo in this movie too, because at one point there's a long shot of an empty room, and I know I lost the game of Where's Waldo because I know something moved a half an inch and I didn't see it. Otherwise, they would not have put a long shot of an empty room in this movie.
You underestimate that.
And that's what I like about this. And you know, I've said how many times I hate the damn Conjuring movies because, you know, the newest one being the best example that I can think of off the top of my head because I have not seen all those movies. It's just Hell's Gate opened within 5 minutes of that fucking movie, you know, this was more of a. Let me start by saying this. This movie, it pulled on strings of things that is a real fear. And if you don't buy into paranormal stuff and whatever, then it means absolutely nothing to you. But, you know, if you do, then like it had so many things that, you know, I'm sure I'll get to eventually. But it was more realistic of how stuff like that would go. It starts slow. It's subtlety. these things feed off of energy, and it can't conjure that right out of the rip like that. No pun intended to The Conjuring, but it's realistic.
All right, I don't know what kind of hippie bullshit you're talking about. I will say this. I made the joke when we talked about the first movie, and I'll make it again. This demon is hell's king of slight inconveniences, and who gives a shit? It's so fucking boring. I get what you're saying about the Conjuring movies, Mikey, how it's pedal to the metal right away.
Yeah.
All sorts of crazy shit's happening. This one, nothing's happening. There's got to be a middle ground somewhere between those two that could make a good movie.
I understand what you mean. And to a degree, I do kind of agree with you. Like, I think it's one thing that the first movie, for the most part, does really well. Like, especially with the marketing that was behind it, because people didn't know what the fuck they were going into with Paranormal Activity. And, we had these very unknown actors doing this like found footage style thing where we believed what we were seeing could be real, like there's an angle there. I think with the success, and it's hard to like subtract points from a franchise because it was successful, but a lot of that angle was lost. Like a lot of that meta, what are we going through, big marketing, like a lot of that was gone in the second one. We knew that Paranormal Activity, what it was up to, and while I respect its commitment to the bit, I didn't want to see that again. Like they had an opportunity in the second one because it's like they clearly were looking at the complaints from the first one, right? They're like, these two characters are not super likable. We're going to up the stakes. We're going to let there be a child and a dog and a baby and like things that people are going to care about. And then they put in like the same, but they diluted everyone. No one had any personality traits. There wasn't a contained story going with the characters that was interesting, like not that the first one really had that either, but they had a chance to fix it and they didn't do it. And they didn't make any of the characters likable. They had the same kind of asshole, I'm a big strong man that doesn't believe in the paranormal stuff and I'm going to make fun of my girlfriend's demon, like it's the same. They were onto something with fixing the dynamic at home. And then they didn't do it. And it ended up being a lot more of the same. But worse, because we didn't believe it anymore. Like,
I will say this about the father. He annoyed the shit out of me throughout this whole movie.
God, I wanted him to die so fast.
Micah, I always get his name mixed up. From the original was one thing where he wanted there to be something. So he can catch it on film. And like, so he was a dick from a different angle, and it was what it was. This guy is just like, no, it doesn't exist. It's not, like he's just hell-bent that the wind slammed a door shut from across a fucking huge ass house like that, shit like that, where it's like, okay, that's weird. He's denying it so hard and such on the skeptical, I don't even know skeptical, he's just hell no side of things, and it's frustrating throughout the whole fucking movie.
And Micah is at least consistent as a character because Micah's an asshole from the beginning. He's antagonized, he's like makes a joke out of it, but the second that he starts like seeing actual things, he's like, let's go, let's find more, let's aggravate the demon, I want to catch this on like the camera. Like he's gung-ho the entire movie. The dad in this is like, there is a break-in, I'm gonna get the craziest security system I can get. And then even before like the paranormal stuff is brought to his attention, he is just so annoyed every time anyone suggests that they look at footage. Like, and it's like, what is your motivation here in having the cameras if you absolutely refuse to check, like,
nope. I disagree with both of you. I am that guy, 100%.
No.
I am that guy.
No.
I would.
You said this about Micah
there is a
too.
thing that is happening, and I'm hearing this on more and more podcasts where people are talking about these characters, like the father in this movie, and it's almost always the husband or the father in these fucking movies for some reason. And people are talking about how annoying and how dumb they are, but we have to realize these characters aren't supposed to know they're in a horror movie. And if someone had come to me,
don't be annoying and dumb in real life.
If someone comes to me and starts talking about a ghost, bullshit. I'm not paying attention to what the fuck they're talking about.
If you spend a bunch of money on security cameras and someone's like, hey, I caught something on a security camera, are you going to be a whiny little bitch about watching it?
But
or
he
are you
does
going to
watch
use
it.
the money? He watches it, but he complains so much. He like the incredulous look that he gives her when she suggests that he look at the footage. Like, I wanted to kill him. I wanted to murder him dead.
No, I completely agree with this guy. It's a fucking it's annoying and a waste of time. People talking about ghosts. A pot falls off a pot holder, the thing they've got in their kitchen above the island, and his wife runs out of the room and immediately assumes ghost. I would have just assumed shitty pot holder. You know, like
No. This is I would divorce Rob if I had the opportunity. I completely agree. If your partner puts like something in place and it's not functioning the way that it's supposed to be, I'm not saying that I would necessarily, if Mr. Cat's boyfriend puts up a bunch of pots on some hooks and then he tells me the next day that they're haunted, I might not believe that they're haunted, but I'm going to believe that there's something that's not functioning about those pot holders that has given him reason to be concerned, because he's the one that knows like how they work. And when you follow her logic, it makes sense. The pots would have to lift themselves up to get off of the hooks because of the angle that they're positioned at. Like, that's the whole thing.
Well,
no,
keep in mind too.
I think assuming that this guy should assume ghost means that you're looking at it as a character in a horror movie and not a real person.
No, but that's the thing, is I've had friends come to me and tell me like, hey, I think my house is haunted. And there's one situation ever in my life where I've like seen enough evidence to believe that maybe someone's house was haunted, right? But like, I believed that something was going on other than, I didn't just be like, it's the house, it's the hooks, it's the whatever, you're an idiot, like you have to have enough trust in the people in your life to know that their concern is going to lead to something, even if you don't draw the same conclusion that they draw about the ghosts, because that's just what not being an asshole to your friends and family is.
I assume, I trust that they're fucking crazy if they're coming to me about ghosts.
Well,
you won't even play Candyman with us.
Well, wait a minute, hold on.
That's dumb white people shit. I don't fuck around.
Let's keep in mind.
That's why I don't have ghosts, Cat.
But let's keep in mind too that that wasn't the first instance of something happening.
Oh, I know the pool cleaner got out of the pool. I know
that wasn't the first thing either. But like we know from Katie, this is Katie's sister. She's been through a bunch of paranormal shit, throughout her life. And now this isn't the first thing that's happened in this house. That was like the third thing. So yeah, she felt weird, man. She's saying she's feeling this energy. Something's not right. And okay, but even all that being said, though, if at that point he goes, okay, that's bullshit, you're crazy, understood. All right, fine. I'll give him a pass for that. But throughout the movie, it's just like there's things that he's looking at on camera.
Like what? The door shutting?
The door slamming. The door was completely still and then
it's not enough.
shut.
That's not enough. I will say the most realistic thing about this movie is when she was really mad at him for not believing that they had a ghost. That part I really bought of this movie because I've been in that relationship.
What I thought,
and that's the thing is like, because when he was introduced, I thought that the father was going to be the opposite of Mika, right? Where Mika just believed there was a ghost and wanted to antagonize it. This guy didn't want to believe there was a ghost. But like that kind of archetype for him not to be an asshole, I think has to have some kind of other, like he has to be willing to look at reason, I want the kind of dad that's like, okay, the hook is broken. I don't know how it's broken. I'm going to try to fix that, and just gets like more obsessive about these things. And then, the door slamming, he's like, that always happens when the back windows are open, but he's not willing to look at the footage to confirm that the back windows were closed at the time, because God forbid he have to look at the security camera that he paid for. Like I want someone that's going to have like rational explanations or keep looking for those. And just, he was so dismissive and so not receptive to his family, even once it clearly started causing mental strain on the people living in the house with him. Like there's a point where that's just being a bad person.
There's holes in it. That being one of them. I mean, If I'm sitting in a kitchen, and this was a fucking awesome scene where the cabinets opened. I mean, we'll talk about it shortly, but it ties into that. I don't know if she like didn't say anything to him, and I get, you know, he's being dismissive, whatever, but like, you have camera footage. You can tell him this happened and then show him it happened. And like, you know, it went on after that with that. Like, it seemed like she didn't say anything. And I don't know if that's because it causes the hole in this guy being as skeptical as he is. But again, it had holes like that. I understand paranormal movies. I mean, you could look at Poltergeist. There's skepticism in there. But to this extreme was just absurd. You know, and
no, I don't think so at all. I read it. I read it differently. To me, the guy made sense.
For a while, he did. Sure.
They showed him footage, and he had explanations for it.
So if you've seen that door, if someone showed you a footage of that door completely still, and then slamming shut like that looked sus to me. I'd look at that and be like, oh.
Maybe, but he, again, like Kat said, he has said that has happened to him before. When the windows are open, there's a wind that blows through.
But the windows aren't open. And the thing with like the pots too, like we had seen there was footage of the baby playing with the pot, right? Like it can take physical force. The fact that it would just like fall off, I don't know. I wish that he'd had better explanations. I know that his whole thing was like rational explanations, but I wish he'd been better at them.
Okay, so I get that, but my thing is, if I'm looking at that and the pot falls, and I go, okay, my two choices are defective pot holder or ghost, I'm going defective pot holder every time.
But then don't you try to fix the pot holder? Like, that's the thing.
And he didn't do that, and that is the fault of the movie. That's not the fault of the character.
No, that is the fault of the character, because if and again, this is where, like, there's a line between, like, because I'm a lazy person, right? If I'm living alone and a pot falls off of a hook all the time that I don't think it should be able to fall off of, I'll probably be like, okay, whatever, you know, it's not a ghost, it's a faulty pot holder. I'm going to live with it the rest of my life because I don't want to deal with it. But if I'm living in the house, if I have a wife and she's like, it's ghosts, and I'm like, I don't know if it's ghosts or the pot holder, and she's like, it's ghosts, I replace the hook. I try something. I don't just let her live in fear of ghosts, right? Like, if I believe it's the pot holder, I'm going to try to fix it. Like, the amount of stress he was willing to let his family feel over ghosts without providing any kind of like solution when he thought it was a fixable problem drives me crazy. And that's the thing is I got into this with Paranormal Activity. I'm going to get into it again here. If I'm the wife, I leave this man. Like, if things are pushing me to the point where I'm seeing ghosts in my house and my husband doesn't believe me, I'm a pretty rational person. I would test these things and then I would fucking leave the dude that didn't believe me. Like, these relationships make no sense.
If your complaint is that he didn't try to fix the pot holder, fine. If your complaint is he didn't immediately believe that it was a ghost, then that's a whole different thing.
No, there's no reason why he had to jump to ghosts. He just had to care that his wife thought there were ghosts.
He's a busy man. He's got big business with the Burger King stuff. He can't be messing around with the...
He's not even the real king of the burgers.
The other thing I found really frustrating about this movie was, did anybody else think we were going to finally get that sex tape?
Why are we bringing up a sex tape?
Because they bring up the sex tape.
She was in the tub, and he says he's going to release the Kraken, and then it just goes black and onto something else. Are you kidding me?
She fucking says the words, "What if I want you to smash me?" And then he says, "Release the Kraken," and gets naked into a tub. I completely agree with Rob here.
Yeah.
This was the one. And then they brought up the sex tape from the first movie also. That was like one of the second notes that I took.
Yeah.
In all capital letters, because Mika's back and the dude's like, "You're gonna do some extracurriculars with that camera."
Well, yeah, everybody's gonna think that when somebody gets a damn camera.
Yeah.
I never denied that, but do we gotta fucking talk about it? No, we weren't gonna get no damn sex tape.
You knew we had to bring it up, though.
No, we didn't have to bring it up. Rob chose to bring it up.
I'm also convinced that the break-in that spurred him to get a security system and everything, I think we've overlooked something.
Okay.
I think the movie wants us to think that was like a, paranormal thing. And they think it was like
No.
somebody who broke into their house and just trashed the place but didn't steal anything, which makes no sense. But I think what really happened is the pool cleaner
God damn it.
got out of the pool, rolled into the house, and trashed the place while they were gone.
No, that's a good point, though. Like, it's a question
That's not
that
a good
I have.
point.
No, it's a really good point, Mikey, because they go out of their way to kind of describe why it's probably not a break-in. The implication being that we're also supposed to think it's paranormal activity of some kind. The ghost wasn't that powerful at that stage in the thing, though. So, like, we see him building up the entire time after that. How did he just trash that house?
Yeah.
I think it might have been the pool cleaner.
I think it was the
also.
pool cleaner.
It was definitely not the pool cleaner.
It couldn't have been paranormal because
He
it
doesn't have
wasn't
enough
strong
power
enough
yet.
And we saw that the pool cleaner could climb out of the pool. We saw that on tape.
Even at the beginning. Can we compromise that it might have been the pool cleaner?
Absolutely not. It was not the pool cleaner.
Possessed by the ghost.
Yep. Mystery solved. The pool cleaner trashed the house.
This is just you guys wanting the pool cleaner massacred. No, it was not the pool cleaner.
Can we admit that I didn't have the problem with the pool cleaner that Rob did. I do think that was a good visual example of I'm not going to make fun of that part. I do have to ask, though. The shot where we actually see it moving out of the pool cleaner looked bad, right? Like, that wasn't just me.
I don't know why you're saying that I'm making fun of it. I said it's the scariest. It's one of the scariest things in all of horror films. It's in the pool, and then it's not
out of the pool.
I don't think it looked bad at all. I don't know how that looks bad.
It's just it looked really bad to me because it's in that really grainy style that the rest of the movie is kind of in, but with the night vision, there's something about it where I couldn't tell if it was supposed to be like floating or hovering, or it was already out of the pool by the time I figured what the physics were going on, like it was just a very confusing shot.
It kind of just suctioned out.
Well, I got that eventually, but it was like out of the pool at that time. There's a split second in there where I thought they were trying to tell me that it was just hovering, and it looked bad.
No, I didn't see. I just seen it kind of suction and roll out. And yeah, stop making fun of the pool cleaner because it was, it was something that they could do, and it was smart, and
scary as hell.
I hate you. He figured out like we mentioned earlier, a logical reason for it to his standards.
Mm-hmm.
That was his best moment he was an asshole about it, but that was the only time I believed him as a character, because if I was trying to prove a point to my partner about our pool cleaner not being possessed, I would 100% figure out how to remotely get the pool cleaner out of the pool. Like, that was the only time I believed him as a person.
I feel like if I had to convince my partner that our pool cleaner wasn't possessed, I'd just get divorced and be done with it.
God damn it.
I will say, too, they foreshadow the pool cleaner in the beginning of the movie. He's in the pool wrestling with it. And I think that's foreshadowing of the evil that is to come.
Yeah. I did not remember that scene, but when I seen that, I said, God damn it. Knew that'd be coming up again.
I will say, this was really funny for me because we've been talking about this pool cleaner for so long on the show. I'd never seen Paranormal Activity 2. I didn't even know what we were talking about until today. And when it happened more than one time, I was so thrilled.
Four times it happened.
Oh, you counted them. Good. That's great. I'm happy you did that.
I took a note every time. My note just says the pool cleaner is out, O-U-T, all capital letters of the pool, every time it happened.
Yeah, I knew future me was going to, especially the wrestling thing. I was like, oh, God damn, he's fucking around with it too now. I knew future me was going to be having this discussion.
Solid foreshadowing right there.
Yeah. No, I thought it was, it's something different. Like, I mean, it's not like groundbreaking or anything. You make a hell of a lot bigger a deal about it than it should be. But,
they make a big deal out of it in the movie.
They do make a big deal out of it, but I'm
Make a
not
big
against it.
deal about it.
They kind of do. It's like it's a measuring stick for the paranormal activity that's going on.
I mean, it's one of the things that it's fucking with.
Yeah.
But, see, I don't know. There was a couple of scenes in the baby's room, like that scene where the I didn't know at the time for that one, but there was a scene where the baby's in the crib, and you know, obviously interacting with something. You know, he's standing up, and you know, he's interacting with something, and the dog is like, you know, it's lowered, it's down, and it's like clearly defensive.
Yeah.
I don't know, guys. Again, maybe it's me believing this stuff, but that freaked me out.
Slightly out of frame was the pool cleaner.
The pool cleaner wasn't even there.
Oh, yeah, I know you couldn't see it. It was just slightly out of frame. The dog was very upset about it.
God damn you.
The dog is the best part of this movie. The dog actor was incredible.
That dog really was, honestly.
Like, I believed the dog's performances at every point in this movie.
Because, man, like, I'm be honest, like, sometimes my dog will just stare into the hallway and bark, and I don't fucking like that shit.
You better call the Ghostbusters.
I mean, obviously, I'm not saying my fucking house is on or not, but it's an uneasy feeling to me. I don't like it, like, at all. And again, maybe that goes to me and my beliefs with stuff like that and paranormal and all that stuff, and where it affects me more than it would someone who doesn't, obviously. But Rob, that didn't nothing.
No.
God damn.
Most of this movie, I was just bored. And I think a big part of that, too, is the way that they did the found footage aspect, like their way of having captured all this footage being those static security cameras. We see so much of this movie from the same shots, with the camera being in the exact same place, that it's just so dull after a while.
I thought it was cool that they added the security camera.
I want to compare something, and I know it's unfair because we live in a more camera, we live in like a Big Brother state where everyone can see everyone else all the time. I get it. But when you look at something like the static cameras of Paranormal Activity 2, that's very similar shots from the same frames, it gets very repetitive in comparison to something like Deadstream, where we have like the motion activation that's very dynamic, that feels like part of the storytelling. I kind of see what Rob's saying. I wish I had not rewatched Deadstream so recently, because it was hard not to compare like the camera angles and stuff. Like, we're so innovative, and you know it.
Well, that was innovative for its time too. Security cameras were new in houses.
But Deadstream is awesome.
Deadstream's very good.
We should be talking about that tonight.
But honestly, I mean, Deadstream was as innovative as this in its time. What else could have captured? You know, what else was newer?
I get that security cameras were still a new thing at the time.
Yeah, I think that they don't use them as well.
It doesn't make it interesting.
No, but I'm saying it's as innovative.
No, it is, but I'm just saying it doesn't make it still is boring to look at. The same shots over and over again. It's a little boring. And at night when they're sleeping, when it cycles through, all the same shots constantly.
And that was something like I can see from a technology standpoint, the cycling through of the security cameras could have been something really interesting to play with, but because we're also going the more subtle route for the franchise, it was a lot of the same very static shots.
Yeah,
I didn't mind. I thought that was one of the stronger points, that they, you know, found footage was always holding a camera.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was a big step for, and you know, found footage being taken for what it is.
Well,
and I think that's another issue that I have with this, is because there were key elements that you can tell that the director of this really wanted to be included, where I don't think it's necessarily believable that someone that has been getting so much of their footage from security cameras is necessarily inclined to remember and deal with the bulkiness of holding that big camera during an exorcism.
Yes, I had that as a note too. Towards, I would say, the last 15 to 20 minutes of this movie, it switches to where we're not really getting security camera footage anymore. Now we've got a handheld camera, and it falls prey to that problem that I have with a lot of found footage movies, which is, why are they filming this?
And see, what I would have loved to see, what I do think would have made this very innovative, because we've seen, we hear, I guess, in exorcism movies, we usually don't see it, that exorcisms can take a very long time. What I would have loved to see is that still like cycling rotation, where we're seeing something new and different happening in the exorcism every time the footage is spliced back together, because we're missing these big gaps of the process. Like, that would have been innovative to me. It would have solved the suspension of disbelief as to why the camera is there. It would have played with the environment that they set up, and they didn't do it. Like, they kind of fell back onto the tried and true handheld camera method after teasing something more cutting edge.
Yeah, they should have did it in a different spot of the house, because then you can get, at least use the security camera to, capture that.
There are just like little things like that where it's like you can tell that they were excited about the new tech, but I never felt like it was utilized to its fullest potential in this. I felt like they just wanted to do a second Paranormal Activity. And this feels very much like the definition of a cash grab movie to me.
I don't know about that. I mean, like, they told a whole story. They clearly were looking to continue, and the third one's arguably the best in the franchise. I do think the second one's better than the first one too, personally.
I don't see how you could possibly think that.
I do. And don't get me wrong, it's not by much. I like the element of the dog, because that's like a, I don't know how to explain, like an EMF detector. It's like, well, wait a minute, something's going on. And it was just, they had different levels of shit where, the baby interacting too was nice, because you have a character and they have to act a certain way based on, whatever the fuck. But the baby just does what it does because, it doesn't fucking know. And it's like, it's like a confirmation that something's there without never necessarily really having to do anything. Like I mentioned that scene with the kid and the baby, and, it was, they did something without doing anything. And, that's an element you can't have in the first one, because that shit was really just used with shots at the open door in the first one.
I feel like they did a whole lot of nothing across both movies.
You son of a bitch.
I will agree with you, Mikey. I've only seen the third one once, and that was when it was new, and I liked it. I do believe the third one is the best in the franchise, although upon a rewatch, who knows? I'm sure we'll get there at some point.
We sure will.
There are more shark movies to come.
Yeah, exactly.
Another thing I will say about this one, I do feel like there was less time spent doing absolutely nothing. Like, it gets where it's going faster. The one thing that I had, because everyone talks about the scene in Paranormal Activity where the Ouija board just fucking catches fire, and that felt to me kind of cheesy, like, just because we'd had this kind of gradual amping up, and then the fire felt like kind of a huge step, and then things escalated erratically from there. Paranormal Activity 2, I feel like, and again, part of it's the pool cleaner, I hate to say, but like we have a better measurement of like the family's reactions to the goings on. It made it feel like the activities that we're getting were ramping up at a more consistent rate. We could feel that sense of the demon gathering energy and getting stronger as the movie progressed. That was something I did really appreciate about Paranormal Activity 2, that it improved upon. Like, that was good.
Well, the scene with the Ouija board in this one's a lot funnier.
It's a lot funnier.
Yeah, that I laughed out loud at that. That was a good time.
Yeah, always fun when you can include a Ouija board. I never met a Ouija board. All right, well, do you guys have anything else you want to mention? I don't think What?
I wanted to say that my favorite character in this movie was Martine. I don't know if anybody else felt that way or not, but
Absolutely.
I wish we had gotten more scenes with Martine.
And I hate that we get more scenes of the dad that fired Martine mansplaining to us what Martine told him. Like, I just bring Martine back.
Yeah, but you have to fire her if she's sacrificing goats out by the pool.
Unbelievable.
Well, I mean, if a goat was sacrificed, that's cause to get rid of somebody.
Yeah. The only other thing I wanted to mention was the most unbelievable thing in this movie was how helpful that teenage daughter was.
That was a very calm and collected teenage daughter.
Yeah, I've noticed that's something that happens in a lot of movies too. We certainly have a fair share of movies where teenagers are a pain in the ass, but there are a lot of movies where teenagers are very helpful and cooperative.
That's bullshit.
And as a parent of a teenager, I can tell you that shit ain't true at all. That is so unrealistic.
Mikey, maybe you can shine light on this. Our daughter's more cooperative than...
Fuck no. No, absolutely not. She didn't leave one light on. That movie was not realistic in that sense. I'll give it that. She turned off every light in the room she left. That was bullshit.
She did slam that door, though.
She slammed the fuck out of that door. Ooh.
But we all agree best actor in the film was the pool cleaner.
Dog.
The dog.
That dog was good.
Yeah, that dog got nothing on that pool cleaner.
And then Martine, and then the pool cleaner.
But I did have two other things to bring up, and I guess it's more on the I don't know. It's I guess it's a stronger end of their effects for a movie like this. The cabinet scene in the kitchen and her being dragged were really like, you know, and again, this is a very subtle movie, so effects the term stronger effects is a baseline for this movie / franchise. But you know, I thought those were fucking great.
Her being dragged, I thought looked cool.
It was
I feel
very
like
seamless.
They got away with were able to get away with it fairly easily because of like the grainy footage type that it was.
It was a cool shot. Yeah.
Yeah. The cabinet.
I think the cool shots. No. Yeah, the cabinet thing too.
Yeah, that's easy to do though.
Easy.
It is.
Yeah,
but
to rig those cabinets up to open up like that. Yeah, that's not a difficult effect.
But the intelligence to use it that way.
I mean,
I will say the cool moments from Paranormal Activity too. They did, but it's
I don't
fine.
remember much from The Sixth Sense. I don't know.
The cool moments in this movie look better than the quote unquote cool moments from the last movie. It's a point in the sequel's favor.
Yeah, I guess they did do that same thing at the end with Katie coming towards the camera, though.
Yeah. Oh man, the ending of this was so good, though. No, I mean, and again, maybe I liked the first movie, so the tie around was kind of cool to me. But you know, like it was just it gave the demon like just like such a sense of purpose. You know, like she just marched in there, boom, neck twist, like just no bullshit. And you know, that sense of like a senseless evil that's dark to me.
I do have one other thing to because there are things against it. There are things for it just in relation to the first one. I think you're going to notice a pretty significant drop in score, and I just want to come out ahead of this. There was one thing that drove me crazy about this movie, and like with the characters and stuff, I got frustrated and I got mad, but I got just as mad at Mika in the first one. These movies were pretty neck and neck, except for one thing about Paranormal Activity 2 that it's unforgivable to me. I had to stop at the 40-minute mark and go take headache medicine because the sound editing in this actually made my brain hurt. Like there are a few sounds that I just cannot stand. One, and they all are so hyper specific that the chance of running into all three of them in a fucking movie, if there had been nail clippings, I would have been 4 for 4. But I don't like when dogs bark for a prolonged period of time. I don't like when babies cry for a prolonged period of time. And I fucking hate the sound of tea kettles. And I wanted to die at like near the halfway point of this film. I felt personally targeted. It hurt my head.
There were a lot of those kind of things, yeah.
It just, and the shots were so long, which I understand to an extent because the whole movie is based off of long shots. But man, I sure did have to listen to a whole bunch of it, and I didn't like it. And I would never stare at a tea kettle that was going off. I would shut it the fuck off. Like,
well, I mean, if what just happened in that room, that tea kettle could have burned that house down because I need a new one anyway. I would have never went back in there to shut it off.
Then I would have been out of the house. I'm not going to listen to the fucking tea kettle either way.
I didn't see the big deal. It was just the wind.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so I did knock an entire point off of this movie for making me take headache stuff.
Fair.
Because I felt fine when I sat down.
And I never noticed it.
Oh.
All right. Reviews and facts and stuff.
Let's release the Kraken.
Facts. That's what we need. We need to release the Kraken button. Paranormal Activity 2. Oh, the other thing that I wanted to bring up, and I wanted to put it right here with the reviews and ratings and stuff, because I was trying to be very fair to this movie when I sat down, and because I knew I was going to knock a full point off for the headache, I asked some friends, asked around if anyone had any things that they really liked to say, that they liked about this movie that they would want to share on the podcast. Unanimously, this is everyone's least favorite out of everyone I know that's seen it. This is their lowest point, except for I have one friend who said that it is her glowing defense of Paranormal Activity 2 is that it is better than Ghost Dimension. So,
oh God,
we haven't
everything's
seen Ghost
better than
Dimension
that.
yet. I don't know what that means, but I thought you might.
Well, there's no pool cleaner in Ghost Dimension.
God damn it, Rob.
I don't know how close they get to a sex tape there, but there's no pool cleaner. I can tell you that.
Bitch. Ain't no sex tape in it either.
Pull well with Friends of Cat. It also didn't pull great with the general audiences or critics. The critics scored it slightly higher at 57% on Rotten Tomatoes. The audience score gave it 48%. So this is a drop off from the first one. IMDb has it at 5.7 out of 10.
God damn.
Yeah, this one's not well liked online. Our first review, this is one of my I just had to pull it for the title. It is 1 out of 10 stars. So bad that I cannot contain any spoilers, at which point you then have to open up the review because warning contains spoilers.
God damn.
I liked the irony of that review.
Yes.
The second one that I pulled just for title alone, 1 out of 10 stars, Paranormal Wanktivity.
Oh, what the hell? I don't like that.
And also that comes from IMDb user The Bog of Eternal Stench. So we have a Labyrinth fan.
Jesus Christ.
Oh.
So the 2 actual reviews that I pulled for this, one good review, 1 bad review. We're not going to play guessing games for this one because they don't have, they did not rate these. This is just based off of vibes. 1 good vibe, 1 bad vibe. We start with great, scary fun. The audience jumped and begged for it to be less scary. A really fun night out that must be seen in a cinema. Otherwise, you're just a big scaredy cat. I purposely avoided trailers because I didn't want any of the story stuff spoiled, and I can safely say I was not disappointed. Top-notch acting, especially the younger sister. I hope we see more of her on the big screen in the future. The original is better, but this is a class act 2 with some very spooky moments. 1 scare in particular is worth the ticket price alone. Go see it.
What do you think the 1 scare is?
That is why I wanted to read this one. I would love to know what that 1 scare was.
It has to be the pool cleaner.
It's implied in this review, I feel like, that we'll know what scare she's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't. So
it's in the pool, and then it's out of the pool.
We understand, Rob.
Mikey, do you have a guess as to what the one scare was?
I don't know. The cabinet, maybe? Like, I don't know. I guess that was supposed to be a jump scare, right?
All right.
I don't know.
That it might be that because the pool cleaner, even though much more frightening,
Motherfucker.
happens 4 times. And this person says
That's
one
true. One
scare. So I don't
single
know.
scare.
Yeah. 4 times they did that. 4 times.
5 if you count the one where it was just off screen.
That's right. Or if we count the one where it broke into the house and trashed the place.
The other review that I pulled, Paranormal Activity, subpar a normal.
These people are coming up with terrible paranormal inactivity. It's right there.
That's not their fucking name.
6 months before Katie and Micah are terrorized by a demonic force in their own home, as documented in Paranormal Activity, Katie's sister, Christy, and her family suffer from a series of similar terrifying supernatural occurrences that appear to be focused around their toddler, Hunter. Having recently watched the first Paranormal Activity, I was keen to discover what new tricks the filmmakers had devised to ensure that the prequel remained fresh and unpredictable. In short, they hadn't. With the exception of some preposterous exposition in an effort to link the plot of Paranormal Activity 2 with the events of the original, the format of this one is virtually identical to the first, only a lot more monotonous. The action consists of spliced together video footage, primarily from the series of security cameras installed in Christie's luxurious home after an apparent break-in, but also from the handheld camera belonging to her teenage daughter. As the supernatural events escalate, Allie desperately tries to convince her skeptical father that something is terribly wrong in their home. For much of Paranormal Activity 2, for much of the time, Paranormal Activity 2 feels like the cinematic equivalent of a Where's Wally book, which...
what the hell's that?
Yeah. Just had to point that out. Only instead of wasting time searching for a bespectacled man in a stripy outfit, the idea is to try and spot an almost imperceptible movement in an otherwise seemingly static involvement, the most likely result of which will be eye strain rather than abject terror. After much of unspectacular supernatural malarkey, the malevolent demon finally musters up the courage to take more than a baby's mobile rotate slowly or a saucepan off a hook and deliver some genuinely effective scares accompanied by very loud noises to wake up those of us who might have dozed off. But when all is said and done, the second movie is far too similar to its predecessor to be considered a worthwhile follow-up.
I agree with a lot of what was said there. This does feel the story very similar to the first movie.
Yeah.
And there's just they do a lot of weird exposition to fit in like their childhood of being haunted that is just awkward too. Like we didn't really talk about that much, but like that dialogue around that is like, we don't talk about that. No, that kind of stuff is fucking hokey and stupid. And also, just so we're all aware, Where's Wally seems to be the British version of Where's Waldo.
I was actually, going to ask if that was some kind of cultural difference.
Yeah, exactly. Waldo, Wally, they look exactly the same as the same thing. I don't know why I guess Waldo's not a name in England or some shit. I don't know.
Obviously not.
It means something dirty.
Like sex tape?
Yeah, British, they always have like weird slang terms from,
Yeah.
That's true.
Rob, you got any facts on it?
I do. Estimated budget is $3 million, and they made bank on this movie. Its worldwide gross was $177.5 million.
God damn.
Ooh.
The preview for this film was banned in some theaters because it played before PG-13 films and it scared teenagers and small children.
God damn.
We got a little bit about the trailer, actually. The trailer for Paranormal Activity 2 used a lot of footage that did not appear in the movie, which angered some fans. But the director said they had to because of the storyline. I don't know what that means.
I remember that being a thing. Like, people were pissed. I don't know what it could have meant with storyline.
When this was released, it broke the record for the biggest midnight gross of an R-rated horror movie, or I'm sorry, of just an R-rated movie with $6.3 million, and the biggest opening for a horror movie of all time, earning $41.5 million in its opening weekend.
I mean, this was a big franchise, man. Like it was.
Right, and that's opening weekend, so people didn't know it was crappy.
God damn it.
For the scare scenes, most of the cast reactions were spontaneous. When during the cabinet sequence with Christy, the actress was told that one of the cabinet doors would fly open. She wasn't told that all of them would spring open, which
That's
really
funny.
scared her.
I'd imagine that would scare the shit out of me too. Something went wrong. I need to fucking leave.
Kevin, I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce this guy's last name, but I'm going to give it a shot. Kevin Gerchardt. Nailed it.
I'm sure that's it.
Yep, nailed
Correct,
it.
right? Yeah.
Was initially hired to helm the film, but he was forced to work on Saw 3D, so he had to drop out.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, apparently it was in his contract. There was a clause in his contract that he had to do Saw 3D.
I cannot imagine having the chance to work on Saw 3D and being like, man, I wish I was fixing that pool cleaner right now.
Well, that's what Mr. Gertrude was faced with.
I don't know, man. Hold on, let me see. I mean, Paranormal Activity 2 made more.
Oh, I don't doubt it made more.
Yeah, I mean, I'd regret that.
But I wouldn't, I don't know. I would not want to be on this set, I don't think.
I did not like Saw 3D. So, I mean.
Well,
I didn't like it either. I don't remember it, but I'm sure I didn't like it. And the only one, Saw 1, it was Saw 1 in 3D.
Hang on. It's the one where John Kramer wears the ball cap, though.
Oh. That is a classic moment in cinema history.
You would have missed it to tape nothing.
There are 2 Ramones and 1 Misfits poster in Allie's room. Daniel Ray, which is the character played by Brian Boland, was named after the guy who produced albums for both the Ramones and the Misfits. Also considered to direct this film, Brian De Palma and Akiva Goldsman.
Ooh.
I can't imagine Brian De Palma directing this film.
It would have been different.
Yeah. He liked the split screen stuff, though, De Palma, so maybe it would have worked in a good way, like with the security cameras on a split screen of some sort.
Maybe.
The actresses that play Allie and Christy are actually only 8 years apart. The events of Paranormal Activity 2 take place before the events of Paranormal Activity, which technically makes it a prequel, which is also true of Paranormal Activity 3, which is a prequel to both of them. Paranormal Activity 4 is the first real sequel to the original. Again, I hate when franchises fucking do this. Tell your stories in order.
It wasn't confusing. It got a mess later on, but it at least was succinct enough.
I guess. So are the Insidious films. I still don't like them.
Succinct. I don't know about that.
The timeline is I know exactly where the movies fit. They just all suck. Much like Paranormal Inactivity.
That's not true.
And finally, just like in the first Paranormal Activity, it's been confirmed that there was an alternate ending to this film as well. In the alternate ending, Katie kills the baby by breaking its neck. That ending has never been shown to the public.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Give us the baby ending.
Is that like on one of the special features on your Blu-ray box set, Mikey?
I did not use my box set to watch this one, so I don't know.
I have a hard time believing they would put that anywhere. Like, I don't even know why they thought that was something they could do.
Yeah, no, that's
can you
probably
imagine, though? I would have had to just given up my notes if we had gotten to the end of this and a baby's neck had gotten snapped. I would not have known what to say.
Yeah, I can't imagine why they would have thought that was a good idea.
You know what I want from this? No, I don't. I wouldn't watch it, but I think it would be very interesting if the alternate end to this one followed like one of the alternate branching paths from the first alternate ending.
Yeah.
The Paranormal Activity multiverse.
No.
That's all I've got for facts on Paranormal Inactivity 2.
All right.
Right.
Revenge of the Pool Cleaner.
You son of a bitch. All right. Portnoy time. Oh boy, I'll go first.
Okay.
I stand by this movie. I like it a lot. If I were I only truly stand by the first three movies in this franchise. The fourth one, and after that, no. Like even the fourth one, I don't know. But I have to rewatch that. I haven't seen that one in a while. But I truly stand by the first three movies of this, and I love the subtlety of it, man. I'm very picky with my paranormal movies. And, you know, you look at stuff like, you know, the early Amityville horrors, which were slow. And you look at the Conjurings, which were like Hellcat fast. And yeah, I feel like this was, I mean, you could probably look at like Poltergeist, which took a different approach. They, you know, they had that face scene, and you know, I love Poltergeist, but you know, it went a different route than this did. This one was tied to reality a lot, and you know, I like that, man. Like I said, I believe in all that. Like I believe in paranormal. That's real to me. So, you know, again, maybe that's why it hit me the way it did. And not that it scared the shit out of me or anything, but the fact that, like, you know, there were a few scenes like that scene with the dog I talked about earlier gave me chills. The scene with the maid when she was in the kitchen and there was that big bang, and the parents came home and she was lighting the fucking seance stuff, whatever she had. You know, I thought that was a good scene because it was subtle. It built a little tension, and, you know, I liked it. And I like that they did a paranormal movie where, you know, like that Rosemary's Baby and like all that stuff, The Omen, even to a degree. If you could tie something like that to reality, like that The Exorcist was a big deal because of that, that makes it good. Like if you're going to go the Conjuring route, the Insidious route, I mean, that's like, it's like a monster movie. Like I'm not going to be afraid of it. And, you know, something like this can hit those notes for me, and the subtlety was great. And the story that they told in this was, you know, like the third one fed off of it really well. And this might be this is definitely going to be one of the biggest gaps in our Portnoys.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to give this a 7.7. Yep. I can't quite give it an 8, but you know, that's where it's at for me.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to be able to give it an 8 either.
I don't son of a bitch.
The story to me is very similar to the first movie. It is paced excruciatingly slow, in my opinion. The security cameras with the exact same shots over and over again get repetitive and boring very fast. The only thing that's redeeming about this movie is the fact that it gave us the iconic pool cleaner.
Son of a bitch again.
Everything else about it is it's like a less effective version of the first movie. And if you recall, I don't remember exactly what, because you didn't give me access to the spreadsheet like you said you did. But I gave the first movie a fairly decent Portnoy. If I'm not mistaken.
Let me see.
This one does not get a fairly decent Portnoy. It's much worse. This one is a 3.1.
3.1.
Mm-hmm.
You gave the original a 5.9. That is I forgot about that.
I told you I was fair. I'm always fair to these movies, Mikey.
That one doesn't feel fair. God damn.
This one also brought us right up to the edge of the sex tape and then cut it off. And that's very annoying.
Very annoying.
It did have released the Kraken.
Yeah. I mean, they banged it out in that tub after they turned the camera off, which is just, I mean, come on.
They didn't bang it out in that tub.
Oh, I bet they did.
I bet they did.
God damn it.
She said she wanted to be
really
smashed.
realistic Paranormal Activity movie, she just would have had some kind of infection from banging it out in the tub.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
All right, Kat, what about you?
So I once again have the lowest score on the Paranormal Activity movie. I will say it was closer. It was closer to Rob's score until I had to go take medicine for the kettle dog baby nightmare. This one was hard for me to sit through. Um, it was close. I appreciate the things that it did. I was surprised that fans of the first one didn't seem to embrace this one more online because, like, in that one regard, I think they did a really good job kind of expanding on the universe of the first one. I think if you're looking for something more subtle, I could see this being a franchise for you if you can forgive a lot of characters, which uh is something that I struggled with. I'm giving this one a 1.9.
God damn. 1.9.
But
I've seen it
in
all.
its defense, it would have been a 2.9 if I did not need headache medicine to get through it. So
I'll be damned. All right. Shame on the both of you. All right. All right. Well, this one, unfortunately, is not Slasher Radio approved. The streak is over at 1.
Are you surprised by that, Mikey?
Okay.
Not at all. I wonder if we've ever had back to back. I don't think we ever had back to back.
I don't know. I feel like we had a run where we were approving a lot of movies.
We had a run where we were doing really good.
I don't know if
feel
we did any back to back though.
Invisible Man in the Fog.
Oh, hold on. Return of the Living Dead. Oh no, hold on.
Yeah, let me look at this. Oh, wait.
You can get the spreadsheet. You
I
just
don't
know
have
how to
it.
do
I don't have access to the spreadsheet.
Oh my God, I'll give it to you again.
Yeah, Terrifier, Scream 2. Oh, and Benny Loves You didn't make it. Oh no,
How did Benny Love You not make it?
it was just short.
Oh, I'll be a son of a bitch. It sure didn't. We might have to go back and redo that one. There is something wrong there. I've rewatched it several times. I gave it a 7.4.
Does it get better on the rewatch?
It's still great. Yeah. Shit. That's an error. All right, so it's happened a couple times. Return of the Living Dead and X. Okay, it's happened a few times. Didn't happen today.
It did not happen today.
Did not happen today. Follow the show at Slasher Radio. Patreon.com/Slasher Radio. Here, starting as low as $3 a month. You can participate in a free trial. Get it 7 days free, and you can check it out. I think that's really it. 300th episode coming up, as we mentioned earlier in the show. We give our top 100 horror movie rankings each. That should be interesting. You can follow me at Mikey's Dead. You can check out Cult FM, the other show that I do with Allie. By the time you're listening to this, our latest episode's out. We had a director of the Blair Witch Project, Eduardo Sanchez, on. That was a very interesting conversation. You can listen to that anywhere you're listening to this, and that's it. Rob, what about you?
Did you fight with Eduardo Sanchez?
No, he was very nice to me. Man was a gentleman.
Well, you're getting very competitive with Damien Maffei last time he was on, so.
He was kind of competitive with me.
I don't know. You can find me on X at Radio Rob 123. I'm also using Blue Sky a lot more because X sucks. Radio Rob 123 there as well. And you can listen to the other show that I do with Kat, the Nick Effin' Woo Cage Cast, which can be found wherever you're listening to Slasher Radio.
You can find me on Twitter because I won't call it the other thing. cat_Valor, VOLEUR. You can also find me on Blue Sky and Instagram and wherever at catvalor, no underscore. Check out my website, catvalor.com. Buy my book so I can, spend it on ridiculous things like Saw musicals.
All right, guys. We'll be back next week. Good night from Slasher Radio.
And don't forget to lock up your pool cleaners.
You dirty bastard, you. Enough.
All the best with Slasher Radio podcast.
If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.